Uh, Good morning, all you beautiful souls, or whatever time it is when you are checking out this episode. Oh my goodness, I definitely need some damn coffee this morning and maybe an energy drink. I have been up since like 4 in the morning. It is almost 6:30 right now. It's Monday. 4th of July was 2 days ago. Um, I am going to stop announcing what episode we're on because, like, is it really necessary? Not really. But hey, welcome to another episode of I Could Be Meaner with your host, Sadie, aka Capricorn Clark. Yes, the 4th of July was a few days ago. We didn't really do anything. Fireworks were banned statewide in Utah, rightfully so, because the fires here have been out of control. But I did hear that there were dumbass teenagers throwing firecrackers or fireworks in people's backyards the other day, and somebody's backyard caught on fire. But thankfully, some good Samaritans were driving by and seen the fire and were able to put it out. But yeah, um, it was a pretty chill 4th of July, and I don't think I've ever, in all the 38 years I've been alive, I don't think I've ever gone through a 4th of July where I didn't hear fucking fireworks. And so it was weird, but it was also very quiet, and I liked that. And I was surprised that everybody followed the fucking rules. Because do we remember COVID? There were still those few, asshats who thought they were too good to wear a mask. But no, everybody listened because they were looking at some crazy vines. Like you could go watch like fireworks shows, that were controlled at big like arenas or whatever, but we didn't do that. Tiger worked, and I don't like doing family things if he can't be a part of it. Because like I just prefer us to do things as a family. There are some things that I'll still take my kids to do, like swimming or to the park, because like Tiger has been a part of those things, and the pool and the park isn't going anywhere, so he can still be a part of it. But something that's like annual, like a 4th of July event, I want us to be there as a family. So we just went swimming, me and my two younger girls and my 9-year-old's best friend. It was fun. Like I thought the pool was gonna be like so busy with people, but it wasn't. Like a lot of people started showing up as we were leaving, but no, it was not bad at all. And we got, chairs, and it was great. Um, so yeah, it was a good day. Just chill. Um, I of course cried. I don't know why. The last 2 years I get so triggered on the 4th of July and I just start crying. Um, Yeah, it's weird. I wonder if it'll be like that every year. I don't know. Last year it was, um, I guess being triggered by the reminder that I'm an orphan by choice. Because sometimes around the holidays I will get really sad and just reminded of my decision to go no contact with my toxic family. It's not regret. It's not tears from regret or tears of, oh, I should reach out. No, absolutely not. It's that inner child inside of me that knows that she deserved a family, a safe, loving, caring family that treated her with respect and loved her the way she needed and seen and heard her. And so she kind of comes out around the holidays. Like, she doesn't ask what's wrong with me anymore. We've worked through that because there is nothing wrong with her, there's nothing wrong with us. Other people's inability to show up for us in the way we need or love us in the way we need, see and hear us in the way that we need is not a reflection of our worth. It's something broken or wrong in that person. So yeah, we've worked through that and we've learned that lesson. So we're not crying from a place of lack or loss or want or need. It's more of a She knows that she deserved and was worthy of a family, and she didn't get the one that she deserved. But she's still not lacking in any area of her life. She has everybody she wants and needs in her life. So, but irregardless, a few tears sometimes need to be shed, and then she's okay. What I kind of wanted to talk about today was recognizing the signs when someone isn't for you, primarily in friendship. Noticing the red flags in people that you are allowing yourself to let into your inner circle and be quote unquote friends with. And just paying attention to those red flags, not ignoring them, not pushing them under the rug, really paying attention and knowing when to walk away. Right as I said that, 555 showed up on my recorder. So for me, a really valuable lesson I learned this year, and I kind of was like the motivation for this episode because I seen a post on Instagram. Like, Instagram has curated the algorithm, so I see lots of those hilarious Barbie memes and videos because I just love them and they're hilarious and like they're just like savage and unapologetic, and I love it. So one that I saw the other day, it said like, there will be a time in your life where a girl will come into your life and she will have no long-term friends, and she'll have a narrative about everybody in her life or that was in her life that did her wrong and were horrible to her, and play the victim card. Do not take this as a sign to be her best friend. So that resonated deeply with me because I made the mistake of doing that last year, and then I learned the lesson this year. So we will call her Martha. So Martha had posted on Facebook, like our town's classifieds page, like over a year ago, looking for friends, saying she didn't have any friends and she wanted some friends and wanted people to go out with. Me being the person that I am, never wanting anyone to be alone or feel left out, always wanting somebody to have somebody, and always open to meeting new people and making new friends, especially when I was in my abandonment wound, orphan wound stage in my life where I just needed to have a ton of people around me to fill the void that was in me from going no contact with my family. So I jumped on the opportunity to jump on her post. A bunch of other people did too. I don't know if she ended up talking to any of those other people, but she definitely ended up sending me a message. And we initially found out that we had a lot in common, like our birthdays were 3 days apart. Our husbands were the same zodiac sign. We just had a lot of similarities. I was initially reserved when I learned that she was also a Capricorn because in my experience, I've never really gotten along with other Capricorns. I just haven't. I love being a Capricorn, but I'm not a fan really of other Capricorns. Like, I've never had like a long-term successful friendship with any Capricorns. I can get along with Capricorn men a little bit better, but Capricorn women, whether it's January Capricorns or December Capricorns, we never usually vibe for long. So yeah, the signs that I tend to fuck with the hardest tend to be water signs. My husband is a Cancer, and ever since he came into my life, Cancers just gravitate to me. And so I have a lot of water signs in my life, and I tend to vibe with them the hardest, mainly Cancers and Scorpios. And then some of my closest friends, other closest friends, are Leos. So yeah, I tend to have a lot of Leos and like Scorpios and Cancers in my life. They're just those ride or die friends, and we just get each other. So yeah. So yeah, fire signs if they're typically Leos, and water signs. But I was like, you know what? This might be the time for me to, move past my feelings about Capricorns. Like, she might actually be different. And I didn't want to judge someone based off their zodiac alone either. So a few weeks later or a few months later, I saw that Halsey was going to be coming to Utah. And I love Halsey, so I was excited. And I just posted on Facebook, like, hey, I want to go to Halsey. Who wants to come with me? And my friend Tasha from high school responded, and Martha responded. And so I like put us in a private message, and I'm like, okay, like, do you guys actually want to go? Like, let me know so I can pay for the tickets. And they did, so I did, and we had it scheduled. So Martha had reached out to me a few months before the concert, wanting to hang out, so it like wasn't awkward at the concert the first time her and I hang out together. I had invited her to our Friendsgiving prior to that, but she ended up canceling, which was fine. I get it. Walking into a situation with a whole bunch of new people has to be a bit jarring, so I understood. But we did end up going out to Applebee's to hang out and get to know each other. And from the moment she sat down, we never stopped talking. Like, I think our server or our waitress was starting to get frustrated because we would not leave. Even after our food was done, we still talked for like another 3 hours, I think. But we just had a lot in common, and we just had a lot to share and talk about with each other. And so after that, like, our friendship blossomed. We hung out a lot. We went to the concert, had a good time. We continued to hang out. And I noticed as time went on, she had a pattern of getting mad at me a lot, or getting irritated with me about very small things. And it was like, okay. And I would validate her, apologize, have no idea what I did wrong, but still apologize and just, do better at respecting her boundaries. But I started to take note because I'm like, okay, we've been friends less than a year. You've been upset with me this many times, and I haven't been upset with you about anything. And so, again, I tried to let it go, tried to, like, kind of shift, because I'm like, we're still trying to get to know each other, like, give it some time. But it continued. It continued with her getting upset or getting mad at me or blaming me for really mundane reasons. And it was like, I don't want to be friends with anybody that I have to feel like I'm walking on eggshells with. Like, that's not okay, and that's not fun. So, I had spent Easter with her and some of her family members. I had a really good time. And again, I apparently made her mad that evening. And she acted normal and didn't tell me until a few days later. And then she got mad at me because we had all discussed going out of town to have fun with her husband's cousins. And I was excited about it. And I followed up a few days later to find out if we were all going to continue to go out. And that seemed to make her really mad that I put us all in a group chat and asked if we were still going to go out. So it really hurt my feelings, and I was really confused. And I really felt like I can't do anything right by this person, like nothing. So I heard her out, apologized, validated. Again, didn't quite know what I did wrong. And then I just kind of sat with it. And then I was like, you know what? Yeah, like, I know we're still trying to get to know each other and stuff, but it's getting to the point where I feel like I have to walk on eggshells with you. I feel like no matter what I do, you're getting upset with me. And I don't think I want to continue a friendship with somebody that gives me anxiety like that. I don't want to hang out with you and then go home thinking we had a great time, and then 2 days later you're telling me that you're upset about something I did or said. Like, I don't have this kind of bond with any of my other friends, you know. I mean, yes, when there's been a miscommunication in the past, we talk about it, but all my other friends don't get mad at me every other day. And so I was like, you know what? You've been great. It's been great, but I don't want to continue this friendship because I will continue to be on edge and think that I can't do anything right. And you're honestly starting to trigger me. You're starting to treat me like my family would treat me. And I don't want to be around anyone that reminds me of my family. So I pushed send and unfriended. Um, and so that was a valuable lesson for me. I cried, my feelings were hurt, I moved on. That it kind of made sense why she didn't have any friends, because she was extremely high maintenance and a little unhinged, I guess, and needed to very much control the environment and what people said and how they were themselves. And that's fine. If she wants to be that in her friend group, then she can find friends that are okay with that. I wish her well. I wish everybody well. I hope everybody heals. But yeah, it wasn't the type of friendship I wanted to continue. And then it made it very clear for me why she didn't have friends in the first place, why she found herself on Facebook looking for friends. So it was a very valuable lesson. Don't run towards the girl who claims she has no friends and she needs friends. Don't take that as a mission to then be her best friend. That was my takeaway. Instead, ask what happened to your friends and why don't you have any? Because however, I have long-term friends. I have friends that I've been friends with forever. Like you guys have heard me discuss Spencer before. He is my longest running best friend. He's been through so many different stages and phases of my life, and I know that he will remain forever. It doesn't matter what happens. If we don't talk for a year, if one of us moves away, whatever, he will always remain. He is a permanent fixture in my life. Him and I can leave the other one on red accidentally for like 2 months and then hit each other up one day and, continue like no time has been lost, because we understand that people get busy. But he's been there for me through all the different stages of my life, from high school till now. Chelsea has been my friend for several years. Sherry has been my friend for several years. So like I can maintain long-term friendships with people. I don't need to have a ton of friends to be sustainable and be whole and be complete. I just need a few good ones. And I know my heart. I know how I show up for people. I know that I bend over backwards. I know that I'm the one that remembers important dates to you, birthday, anniversary, something you're looking forward to, your surgery that's coming up, whatever. I'm that person that remembers. And when you go quiet, I hear you and I will check in with you. Like that's the kind of friend that I am. I don't always get it back, but that's the kind of friend that I am. I'm your biggest cheerleader. I'm cheering for you. I'm supporting you. I'm showing up to your new business. I'm going to all the things at your shop and wherever your dream is taking you. I'm showing up for it. So yeah, I don't always get that back. I don't always find me in other people, but it is what it is. It's been a lesson that I've had to learn, you know. So yeah, that was, again, a valuable lesson that I had to learn this year. I don't think have ever been in that situation before. Um, Maybe, not that I can remember. But I definitely remembered this time. I wish Martha well, and I hope that she finds friends that work out for her. But yeah, I just, you know, we became fast friends, and I kind of um, inserted her into my life and around my friends and stuff. And so I did have to have that conversation with them because they were starting to get to know her too. That it was like, hey, just so you know, you're more than welcome to continue to be friends with Martha, but I have decided to end that connection. So if you guys do plan something, just don't include me. I mean, I've evolved and grown enough as a human being that I'm not as territorial of the people I care about as I used to be. Um, Because I used to be one of those friends that would get like pretty territorial. I don't get jealous, but I get territorial. So I would have a hard time if I had a falling out with a friend and then my other friends continued. Like I don't get hung up about stuff like that. Like I've emotionally matured enough as an adult and as a human being that it's not something that phases me or keeps me up at night, you know. But I mean, again, I had this conversation with all my friends and, you know, they gave me, you know, their responses and they respected my feelings. I respected theirs. I don't know if they actually continued speaking to Martha or hanging out with her, but that is not my concern or business. So, because I would never want someone to not have friends. Like, I think everybody needs at least one really good friend. Everybody needs to have somebody. So just because her and I's friendship didn't work out, does not mean that I think that she's unworthy of friends, or anyone. And then do I still have the opinion that me and other Capricorns just don't get along? Yeah, I have had yet to meet one and become friends with one where we actually work out. So I'm going to be even more like just reserved and nope, you know. I mean, if there's a Capricorn in the world that wants to rise to the challenge, go ahead. But yeah, I mean, my oldest sister-in-law is a Capricorn and her and I vibe pretty well, but like she's family. But friend-wise, I've never, unless it was a guy Capricorn, and even guy Capricorns have gotten on my fucking nerves. Female Capricorns, we just don't work. We just bump heads. We're too much alike. I think I need variety, you know, because like my fire and my water friends, we have a lot in common, but we also have a lot of differences, and it balances each other out. Whereas I feel like with me and other Capricorns, we are way too much alike and just stubborn, and the head bumping, just not so good. That's the same with me and Virgos and Taurus. I just don't get along with earth signs really. Like I'm not a huge fan of Taurus for my own personal reasons. I've had a lot of bad history with Taurus. Would I still be open to being friends with one? Sure. I actually know one that does my hair and she's really nice. We're not friends. I mean, we have a mutual friend, but like we're more so friendly acquaintances. Virgo, again, welcome to finding a Virgo I vibe with. I don't know. I'm not really like an earth type kind of person, even though I am one, you know. I vibe more with the fire and water in my chart, I guess. But, you know, again, I don't judge people solely off of their zodiac sign. People can always surprise you. And people's birth charts, everyone has a different birth chart. It's not, people aren't just their sun sign. They are also, you know, their moon and their rising and like their Mercury and stuff like that. So, you know, the whole birth chart, like you can meet two Tauruses and you might vibe with one over the other because of their birth chart. So, but anyways, so yeah, that was a red flag that I learned, personally, that if you come across a person that claims they have no friends and they want friends and have something negative to say about everyone in their life and they play a victim mentality, use your discernment. Use your discernment so you don't fall into that trap of, and then you get, you know, out on the other side and you're like, oh, because that became painfully clear to me after all things were said and done with Martha. Like, oh, it makes sense why you don't have friends. Like, some people will literally show you why they're single or why they don't have friends. Like, sometimes you just have to get to know them to figure it out, unfortunately. To be like, oh, that's why you're single. That's why you have no friends. So definitely a red flag to pay attention to. Somebody who is claiming they have no friends and has something negative to say, and everybody has wronged them in some kind of way. And they're playing the victim in their story. So yeah. Another friend red flag that I have learned, is those friends that are very base level. They're very, surface level with you. Like, they see you, it's great to see them, you're excited when you see them, you leave better than you were before, you know, you leave better after seeing them than when you walked in. Like they have like a way about them of just making you feel amazing, and like they're their own son. And again, you leave feeling better after seeing them. That's great and all. And there are people that you can have a lasting friendship with that are that way and have that beautiful sun quality. I have friends like that myself. But where I'm going with this is that person can pull you in and have this sunny disposition, sunny personality about them, but it's very surface level. And then they have a way of making you feel special, but then you learn as time goes on that they're kind of like a robot, and they do that with everybody. Like, they see you, they act excited to see you, they ask how you are, you start to tell them about your life, and then all of a sudden their attention is, suddenly diverted by 12 other people that just walked by them that they have to talk to. And so you always feel like you're left on red, but in real life. Like, why even ask me how I am or what's new with me or how I've been or how's work or how are my kids if you're not going to stand there long enough and hold my attention long enough. Those are friendship red flags. People that can trauma dump and tell you about everything that's going on in their life, but then when you begin to talk about you, or they pretend to be interested in you and you start to talk and they just completely, lose interest, as soon as you start talking, and then they divert their attention to somebody else and like 8 other people they're suddenly talking to, and you're just standing there like, oh, I'll just go fuck myself then. Like, that's not a real friend. That's somebody who is like putting on a show, who is like an entertainer. They have to always be on with everybody. And you come to learn that they know just about everybody, which is fine. But they're not a real friend. Like, they're just, like, they are excited to see you initially. They give you almost 5 minutes of their time, and then they're off doing it to somebody else. And you're kind of just left there being like, okay. You were excited to see them and they made you feel great, but then they can also leave you feeling like, okay, do I really matter to you? And so that's what I experienced with this next example of a friend. So yeah, I feel like that's another red flag to look out for, is, somebody who will really only give you 5 minutes of their time, and you guys never really cement a deeper bond because you never get any more than 5 minutes with them. You try to plan things with them, they don't respond, or they always have an excuse to not meet up with you. But when they plan something, you're expected to be there. They don't remember important dates. That's a big one for me. That might not be a big one for everybody, but it's a big one for me because I am that person that remembers important dates. So it's important to me if people do something as simple as remembering my birthday. And so like this person in particular, they never bothered to remember my birthday or tell me happy birthday. But I would always tell them happy birthday. They didn't really know about anything going on in my life because I only got less than 5 minutes of their attention before they just walked off mid conversation to go talk to somebody else. Like that's very rude. That's not a very emotionally mature or evolved person. They have you feeling amazing when you initially walk up to them because they act so excited to see you. But when it really matters, you don't feel seen or heard by them. They are just like performing, basically. Like it's a performative friendship, and it never really gets deep. It never really goes anywhere. They don't care about you as much as you care about them. So that's another type of friendship to pay attention to. If they are being a sun and have a sunny disposition, sunny personality about them, and you leave them feeling better than when you walked in, but they also see and hear you and listen to you and let you speak and can hold your attention and show up for you and be there for you when you need, great. Because I have friends like that where it does feel like they are their own son. And you feel like just very happy and like just amazing being around them, being in the, being in their presence, being in their aura, around their aura and their circle. But they still show up for you. They still remember important dates. They remember your birthday. They call you up when you get quiet and stuff. So don't run away from anyone that has a sunny disposition and is super excited to see you and has a zillion friends. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as you get to know them, if it feels very surface level, very base level, they're probably not going to be a long-term friend, is what I'm saying. Another red flag in friendship, which I think is pretty obvious to most of us at this age, if you have a friend that can't help but talk badly about everyone around them every time you're with them, don't think for a second that they're not talking bad about you when you're not around. If they are telling you everybody's business, even people you don't even personally know, but then they're also saying like, oh, I keep your stuff a secret. I don't tell anybody. I don't even tell my husband. That's a big fucking red flag, and that's a fucking cop out, and that's a fucking lie, because we all absolutely tell our husbands. We all absolutely tell our spouses everything. Like, that's just a given. So it's a cop out when someone tells you they don't tell their husband. Like, they didn't tell your husband anything about you when they absolutely fucking did. Because who do we sit up and talk about in the evening while we're sitting in bed with our spouse, or we're frustrated about something? We tell our spouses everything. And if you don't, what's that like, is my next question. So like we all know we're going to talk to our spouses. That's not even something that I take personal, because I know that we're going to talk to our spouses. It's what we do. It's how we process and work through things. We talk to our, and then if your husband is like mine, no matter what gender they are, they didn't hear a word I said anyway. It goes in one ear out the other. Tiger's like, who? And it doesn't matter how many times he's seen this friend. He's still just like, who? Like, who are you talking about? Who's that person again? And I'm like, oh my gosh, we've gone out to dinner with them, or we've gone to do this with them. We've had them at our house 50 times. How do you not remember who this is? And he's just like, oh, okay. And then again, whatever I tell him, he ain't going to tell nobody, because he don't fucking remember, nor does he care. And most of us have spouses like that, right? So, but the red flag is, if they are talking about other people, if they're talking badly about other people, if they're discussing other people's business, if they are letting the world know that another queen's crown is crooked, major red flag. And don't think for a second, I don't care what your guys' history is. I don't care if you've been friends since you were in diapers. Because I had a friend like that I was literally friends with since diapers. And she was that person that she would talk great about someone in their face and how amazing they are, how pretty they are, da, 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 da. And then as soon as they left, she'd be like, oh, she's so fucking annoying. I can't stand that dumb bitch. And I'm like, what the fuck? The whole hour that she was here, you were gassing her up, So stay away from people like that, because they will play in your face all day long. And then when you're not around, be talking shit about you. So pay attention for those red flags too. People that just can't shut the fuck up and are constantly saying bad things about other people. And for me, I can't be around people like that. It doesn't coincide with my soul, with my spirit. I can't. Like, I will remove myself from spaces like that. People who discuss other people and speak badly about other people. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm giving examples of friendship red flags and drawing from my own example, our own experiences, but I'm not speaking badly of these people. I'm not using their name. I'm using a coded name, and I'm not like bashing them. I'm just speaking my truth from my experience with them. I still wish them well. I still think they're good people. Our connection just wasn't a vibe, and that's okay. But I can't entertain spaces where people just stand there and discuss other people, especially if that person is not there to defend themselves, or it's just not okay. It's not, and especially it's not okay to smile in someone's face and gas them up, and then as soon as they walk away, say awful things about them, like how they're dressed or how they run or walk or whatever they just said before they walk, just whatever. Like, can we be kind? Can we be nice? Like, can we be decent human beings and be kind to people and be respectful? Like, yes. Like, those are the type of people that I want to be around, are the ones that are kind and caring and respectful and loving and understanding, and people aren't leaving a situation and then they're discussing them. Like those are the kind of spaces that I want to find myself in, is people that truly care about others and are fixing other queens' crowns and not discussing it with the world. Because everybody goes through something, everybody deals with something. And if you have a friend that trusts you enough to come to you and break down to you and tell you what's going on in their life, fix their crown, but you don't need to discuss it with other people. I know I've talked about this in like past episodes, but like, yeah, like, let people rise back up on their 2 feet privately without the world knowing about it. So that's a big one for me. And I feel like a lot of us have definitely learned this lesson. It was a big lesson that I had to learn, because I used to be that friend who didn't always keep secrets. I had friends that would confide in me, one in particular, and I did have a tendency when I was younger to share her business. And so when we tried to make our friendship work years later, I understood that she was more reserved in telling me things. And I respected that boundary, and I knew that I was going to have to work to get her to trust me again. So I've definitely evolved and have become that person that I don't share other people's secrets. I don't let other people know when somebody else is struggling or whatever they may be going through. I let them tell their story. So if somebody asks about somebody else, I'm just like, it's not my story to tell. You can, if you want to ask them. And that's how I feel like it should be. People should be, given respect, and privacy. And if they feel, comfortable enough with sharing something with you, then you should respect that and not say anything. So yeah, like those are just some important things I feel like we should be looking for and paying attention to in friendships. So those are like the main red flags that I have right now. I wanted to pivot to green flags in friendship before we end this. Green flags in friendships. A friend that sees you, that hears you, that makes space for you to open up and share without, judgment. Who asks, like, what do you need in this moment? Do you need advice? Do you need me to tell you that, the decision you made was right or wrong? Or do you just need me to listen? Do you need to just release and crash out and cry and I just sit here and be with you? Other green flags in friendships are friends that remember important dates, friends that remember your birthday, that remember things that are important to you, that cheer for you, support you, show up for you. If you're starting a new business, starting a new job, becoming self-employed with, a dream and a business idea, and they're supporting you, even if it's not something that they quite understand or is their thing, they're still supporting you because they love you and it's important to you. They're networking, they're putting the word out, they're being a guest on, whatever you're involved in. They're showing up to your shop. Those are friendship green flags. They are respectful of like your boundaries, and respectful of they understand that you will, sometimes be busy and not be able to always like, get back to them, and they understand. And you guys could go a little while without talking and then just pick right up where you left off. Another important green flag that is on my list is friends that notice when you go quiet. They notice when you've gone quiet and they check in on you. And they know not to just take it personal that you've gone quiet and you've kind of gone into yourself and need to just practice self-care and self-love and pour into yourself and be by yourself for a little while. And they respect it and they understand and they know that you're going to come back around when you're ready. And they don't hold it against you, because I have friends that do that. I have friends that, need to reset their battery and they kind of go quiet for a while and are just kind of by themselves and want to be left alone. But I know they'll come back around and I check on them, or I send them a coffee, letting them know that I'm thinking about them, that kind of thing. So those are some friendship green flags that are really important to me. Friends that are honest, friends that are truthful, even if it's hard to hear. Friends that, are transparent. And another major green flag that I love is a friend that defends you in a room that you're not even in. That if someone is speaking horribly about you in a room that your friend is in, they stick up for you and they shut that down. Like, no, we're not going to discuss my friend. That's one of the reasons why my friend Chelsea is so important to me. And I've brought it up to her 1,000 times. By this time, she's probably tired of hearing it. But she's the first person that I've ever known that has defended me in a room that I wasn't in. And that meant the world to me, because I've had a lot of friends and I don't think I've ever had any friend do that for me that I'm aware of except Chelsea. And it meant the world to me. And so even though it happened years ago, it's still something that I bring up because it really meant a lot to me. And you need friends like that are in your corner and that are ride or die. And even if you're not around, they're sticking up for you. It's very important. So, but yeah, so those are just some friendship green flags that I wanted to share, because I didn't want to just focus on the negative. If you have any more red flags or your own personal experience with friendships, and what you've learned and experienced with red flags and friendships or green flags and friendships, like feel free to share it in the comments or DM me on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and let me know. But I'm gonna cut it here, and I hope y'all have a good day. As always, be fucking kind. We do not know what other people are going through, how hard it may be for them to get out of bed right now. So just be kind. It's something simple as giving somebody a compliment, paying for their coffee when you're in line in front of them, something as simple as that, but just smiling at somebody, to just be kind. The world can always do with a little kindness. It goes a long way. It's free. It also makes you feel good, so just be kind. But I love y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.